Hello, everyone. Welcome back. I'm Nettie Owens, and I have Madelaine Weiss with me today. We have a great conversation planned for you today, and as part of our What Businesses and Business Owners Need to Know right now. Madelaine is Harvard trained, and she's just got so much experience that she's bringing to our conversation today. She specifically works with busy executives and professionals just like us, entrepreneurs, to help them master their minds for happier, healthier, more prosperous, and productive lives. And that sounds amazing. We almost started getting into our conversation right before this, and I said, nope, let's save it because I'm excited to dig into this topic today. We're talking about decision optimization. And my first comment to Madelaine was, this was such an important part of my work when I was doing professional organizing. It really came down to decision making. Like that was the bottom line tool that we were using as part of our organizing strategy. And Madelaine came back and said, it's important to everything. So I figured, I said, pause, let's just get the camera rolling and we can talk about why that's true. So you have an intense interest and focus in optimizing decision making for peak performance in work and life. What led you to that, to this interest and fascination?
So, Nettie, you probably know, and I will share because it is my why, as they say these days, that when I was 15 years old, my father died of what my mother, the doctor said he died of cardiovascular disease.
Mm-hmm.
And one day when I broke down with my mother about how all my fault it was because I was what they used to call fresh, like a little mouthy, like.
Aren't we all at that age?
Oh, thank you for saying that, Nettie.
Yeah.
So I broke down with her about how all my fault it was, and she said, "No, honey, it wasn't you. It was work."
Mm-hmm.
So I was really concerned about her at the time because he was 42 years old. No one expected him to die.
Mm-hmm.
And there was not an ample policy like there might be in this day and age. So I found a wonderful program at the University of Pennsylvania, Graduate Hospital School of Medical Technology, and I became a medical laboratory technician and was working with, for years, USDA biological control lab with blood and guts and other things and bugs and you name it. But there was always this call to do something for high stressed people in their work.
Right.
My dad, his death is only like one of 120,000 work stress related deaths per year in our country, and about 700,000 of them throughout the world.
And what stands out to me is I feel like that number would only be increasing since the pandemic. I feel like stress has just been at it was high before, and then I feel like it's gotten higher.
Yeah. So here I am, and I feel like if I can help save one little boy or girl's mommy or daddy or anybody at all, for that matter, being so helpless then, and it all.
And carrying it with you too, not realizing as a child, as a teenager, that
for years,
right, that wasn't your fault, or that life could become so overwhelming, and so stressful to cause so much harm. And I feel like the audience that we're speaking to here today can relate, having had very, very likely had physical manifestations of the stress that they are under. So I'm curious, tell me a little bit about how.
So I started practicing and and I wrote the book. And
all right, tell us about your book really quickly.
I'll just show you.
Okay, cool. Getting to Great. All right.
So I said to myself one day, what is working for all these people? Because my background is so diverse. with
Mhm.
psychodynamic training and the board certification, the NLP, and I also studied Advaita Vedanta, believe it or not, pre-Hindu tradition for close to 25 years. And so I wondered what's happening here that's going so well. And of course, I was delighted about that. So I laid everything out, all the folders, and looking at everything. And I noticed there was this 5-step process that everyone seemed to pass through, which is finding their environmental fit. I'll condense that and
Mhm.
say it. It's the first line of the book. A great life depends on a great fit between who we are and the environments in which we work and live. I didn't make
Mhm.
that up. Darwin and Wallace did, but I think we forget how much that matters. And back in the day, we didn't have the kind of prefrontal cortex we have now that can actually, and here comes the D word, actually impact some of those decisions. We can use decision making to refine and upgrade that environmental fit. So no sooner did I finish the book than I saw this two things. Forbes saying that every business should put decision making at the top of its agenda.
Hmm. Okay.
And then I saw that human beings make about 35,000 decisions every single day, and most of them are not even conscious, therefore, not under your control. Therefore, they're driving you instead of you driving them. And I'm thinking, oh, wow,
Mhm.
I have to learn. I have to learn a lot more about this. So I started reading all kinds of research and sort of digging into what we're all, even though we mean well and we're all smart, the mistakes
Mhm.
that we're making, that if we tweak those just a little bit, we could really make a big difference in our own lives, the lives of our businesses, and all the people. And I like to say, all the big and little people counting on us for their own well being. So,
So, is there something that we can do? I mean, clearly, it sounds like there's a lot we can do. I know there's a process that we can go through, but for those that are watching today and they're like, all right, well, your decision making is important. I know I'm making a lot of decisions, and but how do I even begin? And what would you share with them?
so I like acronyms, obviously, with the GREAT. So I
Hmm.
came up with one for this, and it's FLASH, FLASH. And if
Okay.
you want me to unpack them as quickly as I can, I will do that.
All right.
You want to do
Go
it?
for it.
Yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
So FLASH stands for faster.
Mhm.
So there's something called, I don't know, maybe some of you have heard about Borodon's ass. The ass is a donkey.
Okay.
And I have a PowerPoint presentation on this if anyone ever wants to bring that into their business or whatever. But it has a picture of the donkey, and the donkey is staring at two identical bales of hay. I've also seen it with a bale of hay and a pail of water, and the
Mhm.
donkey can't decide.
So
So
deciding faster is the
so the donkey dies
oh,
because well, the donkey
I
dies
totally
because
heard this story.
right? Because it's not eating, it's not drinking, it's
Right.
thinking.
Mhm.
Anybody can identify with thinking. We do a lot of that. So the donkey's thinking. And
Mhm.
so this little story goes back to Aristotle, but there's a physicist, Fredkin, who kind of borrowed it to make the point that the reason that these decisions, that hard decisions are so hard is because the threat and or opportunity in either direction is approximately equal.
Mm.
So it doesn't matter. You just have
Right.
to pick one and give it everything you've got to make it work. The only people who are happy when you're dragging your feet are your competition. And the other thing is that there's something that doctors are calling decision fatigue. And what it does is it absolutely depletes and burns out the brain that adversely impacts all of your other decisions and your mental health, which then it further adversely impacts your decisions. So F is for faster. The L is for leader.
So I'm going to ask if you would just go through the letters, and then what I would invite our listeners to do, because I feel like we have an opportunity here I'd like you to go through the letters, and then if people want to continue to find out more, I want them to grab your book. I want them to connect with you. And once we've shared that, then we can go back. And if you wouldn't mind staying on, and we can go through what each one means. Does that work for you?
Nettie just made a great decision.
Thanks.
Faster, leader, actor, smarter, higher. And I'm going to spare you the research just for the sake of keeping it condensed. And as Nettie said, please absolutely feel free to be in touch with me to find out more. So people won't follow you if you appear to be hesitating. There's research on that. We have to take action, but not any old action. So there's research on that. There's something called CEO disease, where decisions are made in a vacuum. That also, and that applies to MDs too, if we have any of those on the call, and I'm sure to lots of other high power, high stress professions. So these decisions have to be smart. They can't come from the primitive part of the brain. And so they have to come from H, the higher part of the brain. And I have a 30-second mindset reset that puts you right there in the higher part of the brain. And that is on my website. There's a tab called Power Breath. 30 seconds, anytime, anywhere, by anybody, for any reason, to reset so you're thinking, feeling, and acting smart.
That's amazing. And I appreciate how simple it is, that each step is just a reminder. So we had faster, leader, actor, smarter, and higher. And just to tap into each one of those words. I love how simple that acronym is. And I'm going to be checking out the 30-second reset to tap into that decision making. Decision making is foundational to everything, as you've just shared. Over 30,000 decisions every day, and most of them we're not even aware that we're making. So the more we can learn how to be good decision makers and optimize the decisions that we are making, the better opportunity we have to reduce our stress, to act optimally, and to do the good work that we're supposed to do here. Thank you so much, Madelaine, for being here with me today. I really appreciate this time. Her website is madelineweiss.com. Please go check her out and continue this conversation. If you're thinking, oh my gosh, this is me, I'm here, I'm feeling overwhelmed, I'm at that point, or maybe you don't want to get to that point, reach out and see what she has to offer. If you loved our interview today, I would invite you to hit subscribe and to also take advantage of a resource that I have for you today. If you pick up your phone and text the word freedom to 411321, you will have access to my High Achievers Guide to Business Success, which I encourage you to tap into and ask me any questions that you have. I'm right here for anything that you may need. Thank you again, Madelaine, for being with us today. This has been another episode of What Business Owners Need to Know Right Now, and we look forward to seeing you again next time. Take care.
Bye-bye.